Hey, it's Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is attorney Kevin Little. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, before we get into your topic, and you've got a really great topic to talk about, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I've been an attorney for 27 years, and I've been practicing in Fresno for 22 of those.
So you got an hour or two under your belt, don't you?
Just a few,
Yeah.
just a few days.
Now, here's the thing. You came today, you want to talk about domestic violence in particular.
That's right.
With 22 years of legal experience, is this something that you now specialize in, or is it something that you've been specializing in? You know, how did you get, because it is a very unique part of the law.
That's right. It is, and it's not something that I always focused on in my practice, but over the last several years, it's been something that I've gravitated towards. I've come to realize through some of my civil rights practice that women are very much underrepresented across the board in our legal system, but certainly
Right.
when we talk about domestic violence victims. Some studies show that 2/3 of women over the course of their lifetime suffer some form of domestic violence, whether it be financial, psychological, physical, or sexual.
Okay, I want to stop you right
Sure.
there, because you didn't just say being beat up. You said financial,
That's right.
psychological, physical, sexual.
That's right.
What else? Did I cover them all?
I think you did, yeah.
Okay.
It's domestic violence is really an exertion of control over the victim, and that can take many forms.
And you also mentioned that women aren't real well represented within the legal system itself when it comes to various things, and in particular domestic violence.
That's right.
What are the options for a woman right now?
Well, the options are, back in 1994, Steve, the federal government passed something called the Violence Against Women Act.
Okay.
And that has been implemented in every state of the country. But it has not been fully implemented and fully enforced. That's what studies have shown.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's true statewide and locally here in Fresno. And one of the reasons why, unfortunately, it has not been fully enforced is that there is a lack of awareness both on the part of law enforcement and the victims themselves about what rights women who suffer domestic violence have.
What kind of rights did that law that bring to the table for women?
Well, it was a dramatic change from the prior scenario. What we used to see back in the 70s and 80s is domestic violence. If an officer responded at all, it would be, go cool off. Why don't you go have a beer and come back in a couple of hours? That sort
take a
of
walk.
thing. Go take a walk. But now there are mandatory requirements that officers are supposed to comply with when they respond to a call for domestic violence. And
Kevin,
Sure.
in your experience, how well is that aspect of it implemented?
not, unfortunately, as well as it needs to be.
That's kind of what I thought. So you've taken over this cause as part of your practice.
That's right.
What do you do in particular? How does your practice approach this issue now for women?
We filed several cases on behalf of women whose rights have not been respected, and those are making their way through the federal and state court systems here locally.
Cool. So a woman she has an experience, and she calls you. What's the process?
Well, the process is, the first thing we would do is to ascertain whether or not her rights were respected under the Violence Against Women Act. Was a report written, because reports are required now in almost every instance when a domestic violence call is made.
Right.
Was an arrest made? Was she offered the various services that the Violence Against Women Act provides she's supposed to be offered?
Right.
Was she advised that she has a right, even if the officers don't want to make an arrest? Was she advised that she has a right to make a citizen's arrest? And many people think a citizen's arrest is you have to actually go and manhandle the person and take them into custody themselves. That's not how it is at all. You have to fill out a form.
And they
That's
take
right.
care of the arresting part of it.
That's right.
Okay. So, and they come to you, and you lay this out for them. Do you also have resources for them, besides the legal resources, like possible shelters where they can go? Do you align your clients with stuff like that, or do you have that information available to them?
We do. There are several shelters here in town, most notably the Marjorie Mason Center, but
Right.
there's also the Evangel House, Naomi's House, the Rescue Mission. All of those are shelters that accommodate women who are victims of domestic violence.
Okay, so you got Robert. I want you to put this. He's got this physical violence circle graph up there. Now, tell me about this, Kevin.
This is what's commonly referred to, Steve, as the circle of violence. And it shows the different forms that domestic violence can take. It can be as subtle as making someone feel worthless, as if they have no independent economic means and have nowhere to go, or it can be as direct and brutal as rape or physical beating,
Okay.
and everything in between.
And so that's what this graph demonstrates here for the people that have this on their screen. And it gives a pretty good outline of these various things.
Right. And one of the other things that's interesting about it is it's a circle precisely because what sociologists and other people who study this have found is that there is a cycle.
Right.
And sometimes tensions are high, and then they de-escalate, and then it just kind of starts all over again. And what women are encouraged to do by domestic violence advocates is to break this circle so that they aren't subject to these repetitive behaviors.
Yeah, just a guess on my part that individuals that fail to take any type of action are destined to re-experience the issues again and again and again.
That's right.
And it's my understanding from what little bit I know that oftentimes those reoccurrence of issues are an actual escalation of prior issues. It's like the tensions rise, and the violence rises, and so on.
That's exactly right, and studies show that unfortunately women go through the cycle numerous times before they learn and have the experience and develop the strength and wherewithal to break that cycle. And it's very important for law enforcement, social sectors, not to dismiss people who don't break the cycle the first time, but to remain supportive because, exactly as I said, studies show that oftentimes this repeats
I
itself.
want to stop you for a minute,
Sure.
Kevin, because you just said for those that don't end the cycle at that point in time, that they don't dismiss it, they stay involved. They don't have the arrest done. They don't follow through. They
Right.
stay in it for whatever reasons.
Right.
And there's psychological reasons and social reasons and so on.
Right.
If you had an opportunity to speak to those people, what would you say right now?
What I would let them know first of all is that you're not alone. Many women, as I said, 2/3 of women suffer some form of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Second, there are resources out there, law enforcement resources, social support resources, and many laws that protect victims of domestic violence. And if they're fully enforced, they provide a very comprehensive safety net.
So knowledge is critical to these individuals.
That's right.
Yeah, and you provide that through your service.
We try very much to.
Very good. One of the things regarding knowledge is this next graph. Robert, if you'd put this up, this is on the domestic violence flow chart. And tell me a little bit about this, Kevin.
Well, this describes the protocol that law enforcement is supposed to follow when they respond to a call for domestic violence. Typically, first of all, domestic violence can occur between those who are married, who are engaged, who are dating, cohabitating, or previously were in one of those statuses. When an officer responds to a domestic violence incident, it can be one involving force or not. And then it's up to the officer to assess whether there are injuries that occurred as a result of the force or not, or if there's no force, whether the person is fearful of the perpetrator. And depending on the circumstances, there are different options that are supposed to be pursued. If the victim of force has suffered injury, it's mandatory for an arrest to occur. If the person is not injured, they still have to be given an option to do a citizen's arrest if the officer can't arrest the individual. And even if it's a no-force situation where fear is present, a report still has to be done so that, again, that victim has documentation that
Right.
hopefully will enable her later on to break the cycle.
Very good. Well, Kevin, is there anything else that you want to share with your audience today regarding this?
Well, I would encourage women to who are going through what they feel is domestic violence to educate themselves. There's lots of materials on the internet. We have links on my website, kevinglittle.com, to domestic violence resources.
KevinGLittle.com.
That's right.
Okay, they can go there.
And just know that you're not alone, and that don't give up if you don't have the wherewithal to break the cycle the first, the second, or even the third time. Because when you are able to make that decision to break the cycle, there are support services for you.
And you are an advocate for those individuals.
That's right.
Well, very good, Kevin. I appreciate you being on the show. It's a great service that you provide.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you when we come back.
I'm getting so tired of coming back to this same house.
I know. It's so sad, though, because she never tells us what's really going on.
I don't get it. I don't understand why she just doesn't leave.
I still need to go to the store.
Why haven't you already done that?
I need to get some more money.
Really? I work like a dog to give you money, and you just piss it away.
Look, it's for the kids. I need to put food in their lunch boxes.
I'm not giving you another cent. And we're out of beer. I'm gonna want one with dinner.
Oh, I don't have any money.
That's not my problem.
There are many reasons why a victim of domestic violence feels unable to leave a relationship. Her batterer may have interfered with her ability to get or maintain a job outside of the home. She's been told repeatedly that she cannot provide for herself or her children without him. She feels completely trapped.
I'm getting 2 dips of chocolate.
Where are you guys going?
I'm gonna take them for ice cream.
Oh, I'm about to start dinner. I don't think they should have ice cream right now.
Hey guys, why don't you go get in the car?
Yeah, ice cream. What kind of ice cream?
Who do you think you are, telling me what I can and can't do with my children? If you don't like the decisions I'm making about the kids, I can always take them from you. And you won't have to worry about it anymore.
No, I'll just make dinner later. You know, it's fine. It's not a problem.
Come on, guys. Get out of the car. Mommy's not going to let us have ice cream.
Oh, man. I don't want it.
Daddy's sorry.
You suck.
Hey, don't talk to Mommy like that.
Commonly, a batterer will make threats to take the children away, injure them, or even kill them. We have a victim who truly believes that harm will come to her children if she tries to leave.
Why can't you just tell me the truth?
I've been telling you the truth. I can't take this anymore.
Don't you walk away from me. Don't you understand that if you ever try to leave me, I will kill you. I will hunt you down, and I will kill you. Damn it. The neighbors must have called the cops again. You better handle this, or I will really give you something to be upset about.
The victim feels like she has no way out. You're there as a resource to help her. And every time you go out there, you make a positive change. One day, this victim will understand that there is a way out of the situation. Please don't give up on her.
Hi, Mrs. Collins. Are you okay?